What's up team? It's Andy Wang from Cliniko here, and in this video I'll show you how to recognize your cash sales in Xero if you use Cliniko and Xero but you run them unintegrated, meaning they're not automatically talking to each other. This process is one of the few processes we recommend Cliniko owners take if they use Cliniko and Xero and you don't have them integrated, they're not automatically talking to each other. So if you haven't checked out the other processes yet, we do recommend checking out our Cliniko and Xero playlist. As always, we do like to do our processes monthly, and this is one which is no different. However, not everyone needs to do this process. This process is only for the Cliniko owners who collect cash, number one, and number two, they don't bank all of it, meaning they might hold on to the cash for a while and pay for some expenses, maybe pay for some milk for the clinic here and there, pay for the window cleaner from the cash, and you don't bank all of the cash into the business bank account. So this process is for you if you fit into that category. If you bank 100% of your cash that you collect, then you can ignore this process. Step number one, as always, we want to make sure that our account is correctly set up in Xero for us to do this process. So head over to Xero, go to Accounting, Chart of Accounts. And what you want to do is you want to create a new account. The account you want to create, the account type is a current asset. The account code, you can select whatever coding convention you use, and the name, I like to call this the cash clearing account. And finally, make sure this box here, enable payments to this account, is ticked. Everything else you can keep the same as what you see on your screen. I'll just show you one which I've prepared earlier. This is our cash clearing account. So it's a current asset. We're using the code 655. You can use whatever code you like. The name is the cash clearing account, and BASIC's diluted, and we enable payments to this account. So that's step number one. Step number two is to make sure you are reconciling everything in Xero correctly. So step number two, you want to head over to your dashboard, and whenever you deposit cash, so for example, if we use this example, we have our cash deposit here on the 15th of July. If you bank 100% of your cash, then you just can reconcile your cash to whatever normal income account you use. So in this case, we'll just use physio income, okay? And we'll call this cash sales. So if you bank 100% of the cash, do this and you won't need to follow the rest of this process. However, if you don't bank 100% of your cash, then what you want to do is you want to reconcile your cash deposit, however much you deposit, into the cash clearing account, like that. Okay? The who, you can keep it as cash sales, or you can type whatever you would normally type. Let me repeat that. If you don't bank 100% of your cash, you want to reconcile your cash deposits to the account we just made. In this case, I'm going to click OK. So that's step number two. Step number three, we want to head over to our Cliniko and run a report. This report is going to tell us how much cash we collected from our sales for any given period. So we want to head over to the payment summary report in Cliniko, and we do our processes monthly, so I'm going to select the most recent month that's been completed. So for us it's 1 July to the 31st of July, and I'm going to click create report. Now I'm just going to view this one because this is one which I've just prepared earlier, and this is the report that you should get. What I like to do, as always, is print and save as a PDF a copy of this report. The area which we're interested in this report is this figure here, our total cash sales. That's what we're interested in. What this report tells us is the total cash sales we have received from 1 July to 31 July. So for the month that we're doing these processes for. Remember, if we don't bank all of our cash, we're going to be under-reporting our cash in Xero. So that's why we want this report. Step number 4, we head over to our Xero file and we want to make an invoice. We create an invoice. The two for this invoice, I just like to keep it pretty descriptive and call it cash sales. And the date of this invoice should be the last day of your payment summary report. So the last day of the month. As always, I like to keep things pretty descriptive. So let's call this cash sales Cliniko July 2021. And I'll copy that into my description. The quantity we will select as 1. The unit price, this is where I will grab that 66.50 from our report and pop it in there. The account should be the main account you use to reconcile all your sales to. So in our case, we're just going to select physio income. Keep the tax rate as GST-free income because our GST procedure fixes up GST. If you haven't seen that, please head over to our channel to check that out. Next, as always, I like to attach a copy of the report we just ran. So we always keep a good audit trail and I will hit approve. Once this invoice is done, what this invoice is doing is saying to Xero, hey, we've just made $66.50 of cash sales, which we're going to have it showing in physio income for the month of July. Okay, which is correct because that's what our Cliniko report is telling us. The final step is to mark this invoice as paid. So we want to pay the full amount. The date paid should be the end of the month that we're working for, which should be also the same date as this invoice, so 31st of July 2021. And the paid to account should be the cash clearing account, which is the account we made earlier. Remember, you wanted to tick that enable payments to this account box. If you didn't tick it, then you can't select cash clearing account. By doing this, what we're essentially telling Xero is saying, hey, we may not have received all of the cash, but here is what we should have received, $66.50. And we simply click add payment. That's it, we're done. What we should have left over if you don't bank 100% of your cash is that your cash clearing account should have a balance. Because as you bank cash into your business bank account and you reconcile it against the cash clearing account, and you follow this procedure every month to tell Xero, hey, here's what the actual cash we should receive is, your cash clearing account should slowly have a balance that creeps up. What this balance means is essentially, this is the cash that you've used for other things or you've taken for yourself, but really it belongs to the business. I hope this has helped. As always, if there's any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.